Johannesburg has experienced sporadic downpours in the past few weeks. The heavy rains posed a high risk of flash flooding, particularly in low-lying areas. Now with the festive season in full swing and people in a joyous mood, what are some of the precautions that people should take should there be sudden storms? And to find out more about this, we're now joined by Nana Kgiba from the Johannesburg Emergency Management Services, and she joins us now via our telephone line. Nana, thank you so much for your time this evening here on SABC News. Now, for most of the week here in Johannesburg, we have really seen very gloomy weather take place, and of course the rainy weather that has befallen parts of Johannesburg. Maybe you can just let us know firstly, what should we expect when it comes to the Johannesburg Emergency Services plans for this festive season for wet weather conditions?
We have seen continuous rain for the past few days, and we have not received any alerts from the South African Weather Services as yet. But we have seen that some roads have flooded, and we do urge drivers to avoid flooded roads. And we are going to be looking at those low-lying areas. This is in the Alexandra, parts of Soweto, and Fourways, where we usually have major incidents if it rains continuously without stopping. But we do urge people, in case of any flooded roads, please do report it and do not take that chance and cross that road. We need also to be vigilant and check kids. Kids are not at school, they're at home. And this is the time where they'll be playing around drainage areas, and we have problems with children drowning. As well, it is summer. People are still out there enjoying their swimming pools. We need parents to be vigilant as well, because drowning incidents increase around this time of the year.
As EMS in Johannesburg, how have you also been responding to some of the calls you have been receiving when it comes to floods in various areas in the city?
We've not received any major incidents, but we are going around to check the high alert areas. We know that New Canada Road around this time, we're there during the day. Those are part of the roads that we go and look, and we find that they're flooded, and we'd ensure that at those points we inform JMPD, and they actually alert the drivers to turn back and use other routes. But again, we've been out there to also look at fireworks. Next week is a very busy week. People have started with fireworks, but in terms of bylaws, they only have the 31st and the 1st. So we're looking at shops that are selling fireworks to ensure that they have the correct storage and they are selling it correctly and packaging it correctly in their shops.
Perhaps maybe if you can give advice, Nana, to some of our viewers when it comes to the precautions or the advice you can give to Johannesburg residents to the precautions when it comes to wet weather conditions or adverse weather, particularly those who will be driving and those who do live in low-lying areas.
When you're driving, make sure that you don't drive on a flooded road. The car in front of you, it is important that you keep a safe distance and do not take the chance. So you cannot measure the pot of water in a road just by your eye. It might be deep, there might be a pothole, there might be anything there. So do not take that chance, and make sure that you report those roads so that we ensure that they are closed. And those people that are living in low-lying areas, we are in contact with the South African Weather Services. In case of any major flooding or any other emergency or warnings, would be able to alert them so that they move from those low-lying areas to upper areas where they can be safe.
And looking at the warnings coming out from the South African Weather Service, much of the warnings were from yesterday and as well as today. Have you received any other further updates, particularly for the coming week ahead from the South African Weather Service in terms of what residents can watch out for in terms of the conditions of the weather?
We've not received any alerts as yet, but as soon as we receive them, we'll definitely make sure that our community is safe and they know what is happening. Because when we receive those warnings, we would know when we'd have flooding, what kind of flooding would we have, if we're going to have dangerous winds. So we'll definitely have that information, and we'll let the community know so that they are in safe space.
And cities like Cape Town, they've been dealing with a number of fires at various informal settlements. In Joburg, maybe paint us a picture, how has the weather impacted, especially those vulnerable communities like informal settlements?
I can say for now, City of Joburg has been very lucky. I think this is the time where most of the people would go out of the city itself and to other areas to visit family. We've not had any major incidents in terms of flooding or even fires, but we are at the various fire stations within the 7 region of the city of Johannesburg, and we will be able to assist the 247 every day. Even if it's on the 31st of December, we'll still be there to ensure that the community is safe, and whenever they need assistance, we'll be able to respond.
All right, Nana, thank you so much for that update. That is Nana Kgiba. She is the spokesperson for the Johannesburg Emergency Management Services.